contemporary townhomes, luxurious apartments, and the convenience of nearby businesses. Welcome to the Hub at Providence. Providence, at its heart, the Hub is an exciting new live, work, play neighborhood unlike any other in Chaffee Crossing or the Fort Smith metro area, and you can be a part of it if you act now. Own, rent, and work opportunities are all options as this new venture community unfolds. Visit providenceerc.com to learn more and plan your visit.
When I talked to the Sawyers about some windows and the concrete work, they showed me several different options of things that they had done, and it all looked good. I would recommend Sawyers to anyone. If they came out and looked at my concrete, they could see the quality job that Sawyers did. They were very professional and top quality. They were on time and on budget. I am 100% satisfied with the work that they've done.
Welcome to the Northside Grizzly Coaches Show. Now, here's Buzz with Coach Mike Fallure.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the final Mike Fallure show of the regular season as the Grizzlies get a 45-0 win over Little Rock Southwest. And for the seniors, it's the last time they'll play at Mayo Thompson. Coach, it was good to see them go out like that.
Yeah, you always want to leave on your last game with a victory, and it normally would have been senior night, but
right.
we did it a couple of weeks earlier because of the uncertainty of a game being canceled. But I was so proud for the seniors and the way they played and the way the game ended up. So it's a good night, and it's a night we needed. We needed to feel good after a Friday night.
Overall, Coach, I mean, you look at Little Rock Southwest, it seemed like they were getting better as the season went on. You'd expect that from a young team. But, boy, they ran against everything that I don't think they expected offensively, defensively. Just a good night for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I was, extremely happy for our defense to get it, get the shutout. And heck, we had 3 pick sixes, which I don't know that I've ever seen that in a game before.
I think so either.
2 by young sophomore R.J. Lester, who's got a bright future for us, and then Demarius Medlock, a senior linebacker, who's just gotten better and better and better, and just a great team player, and just whatever you ask him to do, he does. So great job by our defense. Offensively, we threw an interception right out of the chute.
Right.
And I thought, oh, no, here we go. But, the ball was tipped, and, to give those guys credit that they got a good rush and got a tip, but to give our guys credit, came back and scored the next 3 series in a row on offense. And then in the second half was so weird that, they got the ball, we got a pick 6. They got the ball back, we got a pick 6. We got the ball finally, and so it's 31-0, and you've not really even touched the football. But, and I'm not complaining. That was a good way to do it. But I was proud of our kids. They did what they were supposed to do Friday.
As you said, we throw an interception right off the bat. They get the football, and they moved it pretty good right off the bat. They got pretty close to midfield. They had a 4th and I think it was around 5. They got a penalty, moved it back to 4th and 10, and they were in punting situation. And I remember saying to Buck, I said, you got to watch out here because this team has nothing to lose.
That's right.
They're going to fake it. And he said, no, not here. They're not going to fake it. And sure enough, they faked it. And but we were there. We were ready for it.
Yeah, we had made a decision. They had faked 2 or 3 punts earlier in the year, and just let's put one guy back deep. Let's play defense with the other 10,
right, and
make sure that doesn't. And later in the game, we have young guys in there, and they fake one, and they get it. So.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things, like you said, they have nothing to lose.
Exactly. Well, it's 19-0 at half, and you had Ty Massey, Fields, and Tucker, I think, had 3 the touchdowns in the first half. You ran that play again where Walker gets that wide receiver screen and looks for Tucker. He's wide open, and that was just a beautiful play.
Yeah, we're trying to score quick and get a big play, and it worked. The guys in front of Walker blocked, and Drayden did a good job of getting the ball, and then Tucker's so fast that if you blink an eye, he's past you, and that's what he was. And they put the ball on the money. He caught it, and big score for us right before the half.
And we always talk about Procise and his speed, and no question, he's probably the fastest guy out there. But I had forgotten about Tucker's speed, and I saw him on a little screen pass where he made a guy miss, but he's just so quick. And just you saying that brought back that memory for me of not realizing that he is that fast. But, boy, Coach, you've got to – if you're a defensive back, you just you got to stay with him.
You do. No, he's fast. I mean, he's, like you say, Taheem's the fastest guy on the team, but Tucker's not but a step behind him. And it's good to see Avante do that. I mean, cut it loose and have some big plays. That's what we need. And going forward in the playoffs, we need those guys to make big plays.
We talk about Walker Katsavis, started the game, had the interception, right off the bat. But, Coach, he came back and did well. I think he was 9 for 11, had a touchdown. And there were 7 receivers, I believe, that touched football. That's pretty good distribution there.
Yeah, I thought we got good play from both our quarterbacks,
Yeah.
Walker and Drade. Drade started on defense for us and gonna do that again this week. But, I thought they did. I think overall we were like 14 to 18 for about 170 yards and 2 touchdowns, had the 1 interception. Again, it was tipped. But our receivers caught the ball well. And again, like you said, we were able to spread it out to a bunch of different guys. Zion Morris caught a ball, Damari Smith, Tavion King. I'm trying to think who all pro size, Tucker, Ty Massey, Sunquist Church. So we were able to put the ball in a lot of people's hands, and that's what we need to be able to do.
They have so many different weapons, and being able to spread it out like that's got to be a nightmare for a defensive coordinator to face a team that has all that and are able to get it to them. Talk about Massey as a runner, and we've also talked about him as a receiver. But the touchdown he made, Coach, what a play it was just to get into the end zone. He catches it at the 6, and he's hit hard twice right there at the 6-yard line. And he's just able to grind his way in.
Yeah, he's a strong kid.
Unbelievably strong.
When you look at him, he's really powerful from his waist down. And, Ty's done nothing to get better and better and better, as our other 2 running backs have done the same thing.
Right.
Seth Fields, same way. And then the one that's really starting to show some promise and getting better is Sunquist.
He is.
Early in the year he had, missed some practice with the virus, be afraid to, just different reasons. And now he's been consistent for about the last 4 or 5 weeks, and you can really see him just all that ability just coming to the table. And so, I've told you before, that's a group that we've been proud of all year.
Yeah.
Those running backs, they've done a great job, and Ted's doing a really good job of getting them in the game and trying to kind of manage their carries, where they're all about the same. Ty's gotten more than any of them, but Ty's also not missed any games.
Right.
Where Seth missed a couple because of the quarantine, and again, like what I said with Sunquist. But that's a great group of kids. It's like we're very fortunate.
And we had talked about Sunquist last year, hoping that he would play football. You heard all the stories about him. I never got to see him play until some JV games early in the year, and you could see it, just his ability. And now that he's really coming on, it's fun to watch.
Oh, I mean, I've been watching Sunquist since he was in about the 6th grade at the boys' club, and watched him through junior high. And then when you come into high school, and he, as a 9th grader, tells you he's just going to play basketball,
that's hard to take.
It's like somebody stepped on your heart,
right.
And you just, you got to respect their decision. You try to change it, and you talk to him, and, but luckily he made that call and did it, and realized, wait a minute, I kind of missed this whole thing called football.
Right.
So he came back out, and, I mean, we're so glad he did. And I was talking to him today at practice. I said, man, you kind of like this, don't you? And he's big old smile on his face. He said, Coach, I love it. So it's a good thing.
Has he said anything about basketball? Because, it's getting ready to – he's getting ready to switch over. He's 100% focused on football right now.
We got, for the first time in maybe since I've been here, we have set – Coach Burnett's been lucky enough to have those 4 or 5 guys that just basketball players.
Right.
And so he's had basically his starting 5, and he may get one from us, a Boo Travis or a Trey Norwood or whoever it might be. This time we've got about 10 of his guys that are really, really good basketball players. Yeah. But I work with Coach Burnett. Like our guys are going over, and I'm letting them go shoot. I mean, trying to help him out because we've got so many of them. But at the same time, Coach, let's don't be scrimmaging or any of that with them until we get it. But, those kids are focused on playing football, and as soon as football's over, man, they'll hit right into that gym and get going. And then we'll all be basketball fans and want Coach Burnett and those guys to win as many games as they can. And I'm just glad that we have the relationship that we have where we can work together, because I've been places where the football coach and the basketball coach, have a hard time.
Well, you and Coach Burnett are good friends,
too. I love Eric.
Not only are you good friends, but you're good actors, too. Now that you're, on TV and radio and all that, and when football season ends, you become a broadcaster.
Yeah.
So you wear a lot of hats, Coach.
I'm telling you, a lot of hats.
Well, it's around the corner, so I just get ready for
close.
That. Now, they actually start tonight.
Yeah,
have a game against Subiaco. That's exactly right. I think JV play at 5, and then varsity play right after. Let's go back to the running backs, Coach. I just want to talk about this, and because this is special. You've got kids that have so much talent, and there's a lot of them. But if they're not carrying the football, they don't hesitate to, block for that guy and try to set him free. And you see it so many times when you watch the film and you see how these kids react when they're not getting the football, and that's special. And they're good friends.
Yeah, it's almost unusual.
Mm-hmm.
My fear as the head coach, and I try to, and not just our running backs, but receivers, and all those kids want the football,
mm-hmm.
and I understand that. But the thing that I love about our running backs is I watch them. They all want the ball, but I sit on the sideline and I hear Seth Fields say, "Man, Coach, give the ball to church."
Right.
And then I hear and I watch them smile and laugh and support each other, and that's special.
Right.
I mean, because it's not what they're kind of in tune to be.
Mm-hmm.
They're in tune to be more selfish than
right.
that. But those three right there, I've just we've tried to do a good job getting them all the ball. But I hope they know that, number one, it keeps them healthy. Number two, it keeps them fresh. Number three, it allows us to do some things maybe that we can't do. And, the good thing about it is they're all back. They're all juniors, and they're all back.
Thing.
And plus, I'm telling you, Tavion King, who we're using some at receiver this year, he's as talented as those guys. So we have 4 really good ones, and then we've got some good ones coming from the junior highs.
Coach, that 7th grade game that I watched and you watched, the championship between Darby and Chaffin, well, they've got some kids.
Yeah,
and, I'm looking at them. I'm standing on the sideline with you. It's a rare view for me. Most of the time I'm in the press box, and it's hard to really gauge how big those kids are, how fast they are. You see it in person like that, those are young kids. 11, 12, 13 years old?
12 years old.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's a good group of kids. It
is.
really is. And the group in front of them is good. There's really talented running backs in that group. So we're excited. Mm-hmm. We just got to keep working to get better, and we're going to. And like I told our kids today, we got a great opportunity in front of us.
That's right.
We got a chance to win our first playoff game, which will give us the right to go to Bryant. University of Bryant, play the Hornets,
right.
And I'm excited. I know our kids will be excited, and go down there and just hopefully win this Friday and get the opportunity to do that.
Well, just one more thing about Seth Fields, Coach. He wanted in the end zone so bad against Cabot, and lost that ball and fumble. That hurt him as bad as it did anybody. But to see him get in the end zone, I think he had an 11-yard touchdown run right the first and second quarter, and to see him get in, that felt good.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Seth Fields is a great young man,
Yeah.
and I've said this before. If everybody practiced the way Seth Fields practiced, we'd be unbelievable, because he doesn't know but one speed,
right.
And he's just a great young man. Again, like I said, I watch him pull for his teammates and want them to have success. And him and Ty are really good friends, and I think Sunquist is becoming
that's good
in that threesome there. So it's good to see.
Well, they've got to give some credit to that offensive line too, Coach. They can't do what they do if they're not getting some room to run.
Our offensive line has gotten a million times better, and we're playing 2 sophomores a bunch, which really is not a good thing in this conference. But those 2 guys, Jamani Benton and Eric Berentios, have really come on. And there was a 3rd sophomore that would have played a lot with us and had a knee injury back in the summer. So we'll get him back, Adrian, this winter. And then we got James Colley back, Brandon Bailey. It's a great, really group. You're really only losing 2 seniors,
right.
Jordan Green and Timothy O.
Yeah.
So we got a good group coming back, and we're excited about them. And it's just, but they've done a good job.
Coach, tell me about R.J. Lester. 2 pick sixes. He's a sophomore. Was he 6'2", 175 pounds? This kid's athletic.
Yeah, he is. I've watched him play basketball, and he broke his hand last year at Kimmons, right out of shooting football, and got back for basketball. And you could just tell, watching the instincts he had breaking on the ball, that he's going to be a good one. Coach Curry is so excited about him and Poom Savoy and those guys. So really good. We got a bunch of those guys coming back in the secondary, and Jack Green and Jet Frazier and Ian Hardwick, and then you add those two to the mix, and there's some other ones, C.J. Dickerson. I mean, so it's I was looking at practice the other day of one time on practice on offense, there was one senior on the field. Yeah, the rest were juniors and sophomores. Right. And then one time on defense, there were 8 juniors and sophomores out there. So I thought, that bodes good for going forward.
Sure does. Defensively, your defensive line, Marcus Wright, Khalik and Malik Thomas, Darius Wise.
Yeah, that's where we're getting hurt senior-wise. Yeah. And let me say something. Those 4 guys have played as good as we could have asked a group to play to. I brag on the running backs and whatever, but defensively, those 4 seniors, they have done an outstanding job. Yeah. I mean, those 2 twins, you can't help but love them the way they are, and they're so tight with each other. But they've that defensive line, Coach Hansen, has done a really good job with them, and they've responded.
Well, you've got a playoff game coming up against Harbor. Harbor's a team we're going to talk about here in just a little bit, but Coach, they run it a lot more than they throw it. Those guys, those 4 guys that we just talked about, they're going to be key to a victory in that game.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, first of all, they're huge.
Yeah.
Meaning Harbor. And so it's going to be a huge challenge for our defensive line and inside linebackers, because if we can't stop the run, then we're in trouble, because that's all they'll do.
Right.
And so, that's going to be a big part of this game Friday.
Stay with us. When we come back, Coach and I will talk about the Springdale Harbor Wildcats.
For more than 50 years, Air Compressor Equipment Company has provided solutions for the oil, gas, and industrial markets, becoming an industry leader in custom fabrication. An unwavering focus on assembly, sales, and service means that whatever size project you have, ACEC can deliver what works. Air Compressor Equipment Company supplies to businesses working in the most demanding environments around the world, but is still a dedicated member of the Arklahoma community. Learn more at acec-ark.com. Air Compressor Equipment Company. Field tested, quality driven.
You're in business to do business, not paperwork. That's where the skills of Potts & Company certified public accountants can help you succeed. Trust the experienced professionals of Potts & Company for tax preparation, bookkeeping, and other business services. Using QuickBooks for your operations? They're QuickBooks experts. The Potts & Company team can help you establish, organize, and optimize your QuickBooks for utmost effectiveness. Visit pottscpa.com to learn more.
Welcome back to the Mike Fleur Show. Coach, this team, Harbor, is basically they're a running team. Now, I haven't seen a lot of them. I did watch a little bit of the game they played against Greenwood, and they got away from their game plan. I mean, they were doing well running. Then when they started trying to throw the football, it all went bad on them.
Well, that's kind of been their issue at times. They move the ball right down the field on people, and then they get down there, and for some reason they start calling passes. And not that it's not been successful sometimes, but it's hurt them more times than it's helped them. They have a very good offensive line, and it's kind of anchored by a junior, the center Strubing, and his dad's old offensive line guy, and his brother was an offensive line guy. And I mean, they've done a really good job. So the strength of their team, to me, is in the offensive line and the defensive line, and they build around that. And so they've had the last couple of years, they've really had some talented skill kids, and they don't seem to have quite that speed that they've had in the past. Not saying that they don't have some speed, but they've had some really fast guys, and they had a tight end. I don't know his name. who was coming back, who was huge and could catch a football, and he hurt his, what I was told, he hurt his knee earlier in the year. So I noticed we hadn't seen him on the film.
Okay, they're 4-6, 4-3 in the conference, so all their wins have come in conference games. I think the only two common opponents were Southside and North Little Rock, I believe. North Little Rock, they hung with them for a little bit, then they got distance there at the end. But Harbor's Harbor. You know, they're going to come in and try to run. So I was talking about Darius and Malik and Khalik and Marcus. Those guys become key, you know, trying to keep those guys from getting to the second level.
Right. Well, you know, they're 4-6, but, you know, let's kind of put that in context. They started off with Jinx, Oklahoma.
Exactly.
And got beat in a 2-score game. And then I can't remember who they played after that in Oklahoma, but it was one of the big boys, Tulsa Union or Owasso or somebody like that, if I'm not mistaken, and got beat in a. And then they played North Little Rock,
right? And
same thing. So
big teams,
good quality
football
teams. So they lost to 3 really good teams, and then
throw Bentonville in there,
who's very very.
Bentonville's probably the second best team in the conference. Yeah. I would say.
Who?
Bentonville.
They're the best team in the conference.
Well, their conference, second overall,
or third best team in the state. Yeah,
right.
Which we'll find that out going forward, but. So they've lost to some quality football teams. They got into the West, and they won 3 or 4 in a row, and they lost to Rogers, which I think is a little bit of a shocker.
It was, and it was a shootout too.
Yeah, and they lost to Fayetteville this past week, 33-27 on a pick six at the end of the game, and I'm not sure who their third loss was against, but so they're a good football team, and we know that, and we were supposed to play them. Yeah. Week 3. Oh, right. I know. It wasn't. It was Greenwood was their third loss because they dropped us and played Greenwood. So they've played really good teams, and so it's what we've tried to express to our kids. Don't look at the record.
Right.
That's not, it doesn't matter. So let's get ready to play a good football team.
When you look at the running attack that they have, Drew McClinton and Hudson Brewer, the running back and the quarterback, these guys combined for about 2,000 of their all-purpose yards up to this point here. 20 touchdowns. So that's where you got to stop them right there.
Right.
You talk about a lot of points and a lot of yards just coming from 2 guys. So if that can be shut down, I think you got a pretty good chance.
Yeah, and one of those guys, their quarterback, is he one of those?
Yes.
Number 15?
Yes.
McClellan. He took a shot there at the end of the Fayetteville game. I hope he's okay. It's one of the most brutal hits I've seen in a while. He was on the ground. So you're right. Their running game between those two, you're not going to stop it, but you got to slow it down. You got to try to get them behind the chains a little bit where they're not. Because Coach Wood's going to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah.
4th and 2, 4th and 3, he's going for it. And it doesn't really matter where he's at on the field. So you got to get him in a little bit longer situation. So like you said earlier, our defensive front 4 and our linebackers have a huge job this week.
They do. This team averages 25 points. They give up 28. It's a team that can be scored on. When you look at their stats and who gets the most tackles and who gets the most sacks and so forth, I think they have 8 sacks total this year. They have a pretty good-sized defensive line.
Oh, monstrous.
They are big. They have 2 guys that are over 300. Then they have another guy that's like 230, but he's pretty tall, rangy. And but they have the fewest amount of tackles. The guys that have the most tackles are their linebackers and their defensive backs. They have 15 interceptions this year. That's a lot of interceptions.
Yes,
so
it is.
They're small defensive backs, but these guys are ball hawks.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the defensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, 77 and 90, I don't know their names, but one of them is 6'4", 3. It says 305. I don't believe it. He's got to be 330 or 340. He's
Tyler
huge.
Hunt's the one in the middle, 77.
Yeah, he's huge. And then the other one, 90, is the
99.
99 is the left end, and he's over 300. And they probably don't have a lot of sacks because they're not the quickest guys.
Right.
They try to bull rush you and just push you straight back and cause your quarterback to flump, run out or try to force a ball over the top. And so it's designed for their linebackers to make a lot of tackles. And but our challenge this week is we have to be able to run the football some. And so it's going to be a challenge for our guys to move those two big dudes.
Exactly.
And the other guy's not little, don't get me wrong. It's just compared to
those two
just
guys.
compared to those two,
Right.
he looks little, but he's still good size.
Well, this is Harbor's. I mean, they're just consistently a good football team.
Yeah.
And the losses that they've had this year, like you talked about, man, there's some big-time schools. And then that shootout with Rogers. But they're going to be, this is one and done. I mean, if you don't win, then you go home. So they're going to pull out everything that they have, and we have to play them there.
Yeah. So the good thing is our guys are so road tested. I mean, we've been on the road
really
out of 9 games, 5, and so out of 10 it'll be 6. And
and
this trip is like really it's almost like a home game.
Backyard,
because all of our other road trips have been 2.5 to 3 hours.
Right.
So our guys, that doesn't bother them. It's just a little hop skip right up there to Springdale, and we just got to be ready to play. We got to get off the bus, get dressed, get ready to go, and we got to come out and play from the get-go and not get ourselves in a hole.
Like to get a win here, and I know that you'd like to continue on into the second round. Long as Bryant can get by Heritage, then hopefully they can do that. Then I would love to get another shot at them. Yeah,
I would too. I mean, we didn't. That's probably the worst game we've played, and it's hard to say because there were a couple other ones. But other games that we didn't maybe play so well in, it wasn't the effort. It wasn't. It was mistakes. The Bryant game, I was really disappointed in our effort, and so I'd love to beat Harbor, put us to 6-4, and give us a shot to go to Bryant. And, I mean, that's why you put on your shoes and your helmet,
right?
Because if the favorite team always won, we wouldn't play these games.
That's exactly right.
So hopefully that's something we're doing next week.
Coach, when's the last time we went to Harbor? Was it
3 years ago?
3 years ago. Is that when we beat them and then went and beat Bentonville?
Yep.
Same.
No. We beat them, and then I can't remember who we played after that, but. That was Deuce and them's junior year.
Okay.
So we'd beaten Southside the week before, and we beat them. Played really, really, really good up there. So these guys, none of these guys were there, so they wouldn't remember it. But it's a nice place to play, So we're excited about going.
Well, it's a nice stadium, have a nice press box, and it really is the difference between going up northwest Arkansas as opposed to going east to Little Rock area. The amenities are completely different. At some point, hopefully, in Little Rock, those things catch up. But it is a lot harder to go play where we play every week. It'll be nice to get up there, but Harbor's just one of those teams that when you get into the West, every year, you got them, Fayetteville, and Bentonville. And even Bentonville West, who's at times been good. They've been really inconsistent, but at times have been good. But this is a team that you can't go up there just expecting to win based on, us playing as well as we did Friday nights. You're going to have to play. Speaking of that, how's practice gone the last 2 days?
It's gone really good. We had a great Monday. I mean, it was really, really good. And then Tuesday, not as good, but still not bad. And so, you're not going to be perfect all week. You just make sure you're doing what you got to do, getting better at it, making sure you execute. And so Wednesday's a big day for us, and hopefully we'll have a good Wednesday.
Well, Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
We're going to go up there and beat those Harbor Wildcats and punch that ticket, and hopefully we can get to Bryant one more time.
Sounds good to me.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Mike Fleur Coaches Show.
Fairs, football, and fall. What a great time of year. Mike Blaylock with Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning and Plumbing Services. If you're looking for a way to cut your utility bills, we're here to help with the York high-efficiency heating and cooling products and the Ream tankless water heater with 95% efficiencies. So to have a red truck rolling your way today, give us a call. That's Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning and Plumbing Services, 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Burton Pools and Spas. Check them out on their website, burtonpools.com. See their selection of hot spring spas, doughboy pools, and in-ground selections. As always, free spa and pool water testing. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun. BurtonPools.com. Chlorine-free Baquacil pool care system. The difference is clear. BurtonPools.com. With 2 locations in Fort Smith and Springdale to serve you. BurtonPools.com.
Weichert Realtors The Griffin Company provides an extraordinary real estate experience for both clients and agents. Now with offices in Bentonville, Springdale, Fayetteville, and Fort Smith, they proudly offer clients and customers the expertise you need when buying or selling. From contract to closing, their realtors are equipped with the knowledge and resources to ensure a smooth transaction start to finish. Visit them at 3920 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith or online at WeichertFortSmith.com. Experience the Weichert difference.
Yeah!